Welcome to the Suerte del Molino farm, Andalusia, Spain. Here our minds wrestle with the concept of nature. We struggle to understand the interconnectivity between soil and plants. That is quite a topic. Mediterranean climate and clay soil. These home oaks, Spanish oaks, are at home here in the clay soil. So the relationship between plants and soil is very specific. We have inherited this erosion gully. We have built some structures here to prevent further erosion, but also to dam up some water, to hold something for irrigation. This dam was full 6 weeks ago, now it's empty. And we have clay soil. The clay we have here is smectite. There is also another kind of clay called kaolinite, but we have smectite. The smectite clay, amongst the clays, it is very expansive. It swells and shrinks much easier than any other clay. That's why it is less suitable for ponds than the kaolinite. And this is easy to identify because the kaolinite is whitish, grayish, and our clay is brown, blackish. The smectite is also quite abundant in this area, and we will just have to work with it. It's also called bentonite in other areas. Once again, it cracks easily because of the expansion characteristics of it. This clay soil, it holds moisture well, it holds nutrients well. Unfortunately, it holds moisture at times too well. Things get waterlogged very easily. Also, it holds some nutrients, for instance potassium. It holds it so well that it doesn't release it to the plants. So we are using some swales. We plant our trees on the berms to give it a chance to actually have better access to moisture and not to be waterlogged. Clay soil also erodes quite easily because the runoff is quite high and is something we have to deal with all the time. This storeroom was built later. It doesn't share a foundation with the main house, and it cracks very easily because of the expansion of the clay soil. Also, I had to put a piece of wire here in this hinge because the door gets stuck, and I didn't put a washer in there because soon when it does rain, then all of this will change and I have to take it out again because of the movement of the earth, the clay soil below the structure. The clay soil can compact very easily. and it leaves these lumps. That's why we started making paths. This is still a footpath, but we would like to have more permanent paths, even just for walking, just to stay on the paths, because we want to avoid this compaction. This smectite clay soil, it can be used for cob to build structures. 1 part clay, 1 part sand, and 3 parts hay, parts by volume. The Romans used this to build their structures. Many Roman villages, ruins of the villages in the area, and they added limestone, crushed limestone, to have their cement. To prevent the plants in our garden to be waterlogged, we have these raised beds. It's good to have it with wood, because metal and plastic heats up quite a lot in summer. This is a raised bed without a side. Not as effective, but better than having waterlogged plants. The problem is that these raised beds then also attract a lot of heat because of its shape. To have some shade, we have this bent arch shape construction mesh that we cover with some netting in summertime, dealing with the clay soil. We have this vine. This is the mother plant. So I had some of these vines to come this way, and then I put it in the soil, another arch, and in the soil again, and then actually repeated it 3 times, and it's growing. I was fascinated to want to know, to have information about if you can reverse the xylem, the flow of water from the roots to the leaves. So this is growing, so it must have reversed the flow of water from in the xylem, that are dead cells, a tube, to have this vascular system inside the plant, or to have the phloem, where the carbohydrates flow from the leaves to the roots. We started our plant propagation of the berries, but we have also learned that we cannot just do the layering in this clay soil. So we now do natural layering, bend it over, put it in a pot with compost and sand, put a stone on it, and we repeat this a few times. When the tip of the plant is in the dark and in the moisture, a hormone is released, a growth hormone, that triggers it to produce roots, and then it can grow. It forms a new plant. The growth hormone, auxin, can now produce the new roots. This one is bent over and it carries on to the next part. So we're looking forward to having some more of these berries. This is a blackberry cross, and it grows extremely well. It's actually of the 30 varieties we planted, this is doing the best. And they cost about 15 euros each. So if we have some plants here, we save ourselves a lot of money. As long as you guys don't eat it, huh? This is the site of the cork tree that split and broke, came down. It happened almost a year ago. So the cork, the wood is drying out, and it splits from the cork. So to use these trunks, stumps, as posts for our trellises, I wonder if one should remove the cork or keep the cork. We will learn. This is the creek, and then the land goes up, and on this side it goes up as well. So we have these two humps and the valley in between, and this is the irrigation challenge, to get the water from the one end to the other end. We will see. Irrigation, drip irrigation, is now very important to us, and we are working on systems and procedures and equipment, because we want to save water and also save time. Till next time, goodbye.